Hello, grade 10 students. This is teacher Jerilyn again, and welcome back to another episode in Computer System Servicing. For week 5, your topic is about maintenance of computer systems. Your learning competencies are: follow OHS procedures in maintaining computer systems and identify faulty computer systems. To guide you along with our discussion, here are questions for you. What are the basic maintenance of computer systems? How do you diagnose and identify faulty computer systems? To start with our discussion, we have here the occupational health and safety standards. I know you are already familiar with this, but as a reminder again, in maintaining computer systems, it is important to follow the OHS procedures. Number 1, identify the hazard. 2, clear the area close to the hazard. 3, partition the hazard off or clearly identify the area to protect other people from harm. 4, if the hazard is or can be easily and safely cleared, do so. 5, report the hazard to the appropriate person. And 6, after clearing of the hazard, fill out the correct documentation to assist in identifying improved practice to reduce further incidents of hazards. The basic routine maintenance of our computer comprises of the 3 basic processes. So we have the data backup, the malware maintenance, and the disk or file system maintenance. Are you all familiar with this? Maybe others have heard backup, malware, disk, or file. Then, if that is so, very good. So we will discuss each of them. Let's start with the data backup. So backing up basically means creating a redundant copy of a data so that in case anything happens to the original data, you have a spare copy. You should decide and select what are the data to be backed up. Windows operating system's friendly interface allows you to drag and drop computer files from one storage device to another. So actually copying a file to your flash drive or to a CD or external hard disk can be considered as data backup already. So if you are doing that, then that means you're actually backing up your data. When these files gradually occupy a lot of disk space, you may seek help from archiver utilities such as WinZip. Familiar with WinZip? It enables you to compact your files into a single compressed file. So WinZip also allows you to protect your file with encryption and a software password to prevent any unauthorized access. Remember to always back up your data, class. Next, we have the malware maintenance. The sort of review when you say malware, it refers to any kind of malicious codes, objects, or content that infiltrates your computer, resulting in damage and causing your system to act in an undesirable manner. So these include viruses, spyware, worms, Trojan horses, spams, and many more. When you are infected, you can lose your privacy, confidential data, and access to your system when software and hardware are damaged. So one thing you can do is to scan the file. or any various infection before you attempt to open it. Make sure you have your antivirus software in your computer and it's updated. Then we have the disk maintenance. So when you first installed your operating system, you may be pleased to know how smooth and efficient your software applications are running. If you have a new laptop, very smooth transactions or processing. However, your computer slows down gradually and it bothers you, just like my laptop now. So this has much to do with the way you operate on your system. Typically, your system performance will decline when the amount of data in your hard disk starts to grow. In such cases, uninstall any unnecessary software and defragment your disk. So just like what happened to my laptop. Actually, I have a lot of video editing here. So what I did, I uninstalled other applications that I no longer use and defragmented my disk. So that disk fragmentation will be discussed in our succeeding topics. So we have here diagnosis and identification of faulty system. So actually there are 21 examples here, but we will try to discuss it one by one. And I know others are familiar with you, so we can have this smooth discussion here. Number 1, the system has no power at all, and the power light does not illuminate. Fan inside the power supply does not turn on, and indicator light on keyboard does not turn on. So when you turn on your PC, so the light does not turn on, the system fan, if you have noticed, it's not also turning on, and as well as the keyboard. So on the first column here, we have the probable cause. In the second column, we have the diagnosis and the solution in our third column. So what are the probable cause for that issue? That could be power cable is left unplugged, or your power cable is defective, or it could be about the power supply or the outlets. So what should you do? Of course, inspect the power cable and then check if the devices are plugged into the socket. So that is the solutions. Make sure power cable is securely plugged in. If it's defective, replace the cable. And you may use different socket or contact technical support. Number 2, system is inoperative. Keyboard lights are on, power indicator lights are lit, and the hard drive is spinning. So you can hear the hard drive spinning. So what could be the probable cause? Maybe it has defective floppy disk drive or expansion card. The diagnosis, you may turn off the computer, remove the cover of the system, check all the expansion cards, disconnect the cables, and then try to turn on your computer again. So once you're done with your diagnosis, the solution could be using both ends of the expansion cards, press down firmly on the expansion card, meaning try to put pressure on it. You may also contact technical support if your first solution was not successful. Problem 3, system does not boot from hard disk drive but can be booted from the floppy disk. So again, try to look at the probable cause, diagnosis, and solution. So I suggest all these. Your learning activity sheets, your copy of this one, you can keep it for just in case you have experienced some of these problems, then you can always look back in your copy. 4. System only boots from floppy disk, so hard disk can be read and applications can be used, but the booting from hard disk is impossible. We have here the cause, the diagnosis, and the solution. Five, error message reading sector not found, or the other messages indicators that certain data is not allowed to be retrieved. So it could be about your hard drive. 6. Disk formatted on IBM or PS2 will not operate with the system. So you try to reformat your disk. 7. After installing an expansion card, the system no longer works properly. So the solution could be and problem 8. Screen message says invalid configuration or CMOS failure. So you must check the configuration program. 9. You turn on the computer and the screen is blank. So check the power connectors. 10. System does not boot from the hard disk drive but can be booted from floppy disk drive. 11. Memory module problem. So here's your solution. Reboot computer, reinstall memory, check jumper and switch settings. 12. Screen goes blank periodically. So maybe screensaver is enabled, so all you just need to do is to disable the screensaver. 13. Keyboard failure. You try to reconnect the keyboard, or if it's actually not working, then you can change the keyboard or you can check the keys. No color in screen. It could be about the monitor. Floppy drive light stays on. 16. Error reading drive A. 17. Windows system drive failure. 18. Cannot boot system after installing second hard drive. 19. Missing operating system of hard drive. 20. Certain keys do not function. And last one, keyboard is locked or no keys function. Again, those are all the diagnosis and identification of faulty system. So at the first glance, you cannot memorize everything. So actually, most of the time, we ICT or computer technicians learn how to provide solution to your specific computer problem once you have encountered it. So again, I suggest for you to keep your copy of this diagnosis and identification so that if ever you encounter some of these problems, you have something to glance on. And you can use diagnosis and solution listed here. Okay, so let us check your knowledge. The basic maintenance of computer system are data backup, malware maintenance, and disk or file system maintenance. To diagnose and identify faulty computer system, you must understand the basics such as ensure all cables are connected and connected firmly. IDE and floppy ribbon cables and power cables can often go loose. To ensure microprocessor, memory modules, and adapters such as video card are inserted correctly and do not pop up due to vibration. For your activities this 5th week, answer activities 1 and 2, as well as reflection in page 7 in your learning activity sheets week 5. Once done, again, you may send it offline or online. That will be all for this week, class. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope you have learned something, and see you next week. Goodbye.